Namaste everyone, I'm Prabha Krishna. So today I'm going to talk to you all about the different personalities of people, as well as what is the type of yoga which they usually choose and what is usually good for them also. Because sometimes the right balance is required. For example, you have a personality who is highly vibrant and very love activity based practices. They always tend to choose running or aerobics, Zumba, or even if they choose a yoga practice, is always like, how many Surya Namaskars are there, Prabha? I really want to do these many poses. I want to strengthen my core. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's the class. The way they want to choose the class. It's more about the activity times. And some who are in the more of a they like the slow pace because they feel like this is more comforting for me. So can I be in a class which is more breath oriented, comfort oriented? And some will say, you know what, I like the flow, I love dance, I like movements, I love continuous movements. I need to be in a flow kind of a, like kind of a practice. And they will not prefer, to go to gym or something like that. They usually prefer to go for dance or any rhythmic movements or Zumba, or they even like to go to vinyasa type of flow, yoga practices. And some who would say that, you know what, I really want to achieve fantastic poses. I'm quite flexible and I really want to achieve those poses to perfection. And they choose, like, can I choose Iyengar style of yoga? Or they choose a kind of a teacher who really makes them be in the pose and corrects them and then perfect them and all. So these are the different types. There are so many other types. So but it's so important for each of our personalities to what is the type of yoga which we need to follow, so that there is a balance. So if you are a person who's more activity based, or automatically you will be choosing the kind of yoga, or you will be doing the pace of Surya Namaskars or any other practices in that class in a more activity things. How many did I do? How much did I do? I need to do 10, so tomorrow I need to do 12, like that. So in that way, if you are that kind of a personality, you have to ensure that after, although you are carried away with that, can I ensure that during the later part of the yoga class, I need to ensure that I bring about a balance. Consciously, I bring about a balance that, you know what, it's all not about achievement. It's all not about the number of the poses I do. It's not all about the pace or speed I need to do. Can I bring about stability in my poses? So if you are in that kind of a personality, then you need to bring about more stability and try to remain in the poses. So you need to bring about a mix of both in the class. But you are a personality who says, I just want to relax and this thing, that means little bit of rajas is required for you. So you might find some of them will find that kind of a health issue which needs movement. And the more movement you do, such people will feel better. So then that means you need to have a mix of nice breathing practices and a mix of Surya Namaskars and a mix of, isotonic practices, that is movement up and down with breath awareness, a mix of walking and a mix of strength training. Like the such people need a beautiful mix and a good flow of Surya Namaskars with a very medium, beautiful breath pattern flow. Okay, but there are some people who tend to go into depression mode, and for such people who tend to move into a depression cycle, we tell them to go into more dynamic stature, dynamic postures, dynamic set of practices, brisk walking, and then followed with, it needs to be always followed with, it should be always a combo deal, followed with nice deep abdominal breaths, a good number of pranayama practice. Even in pranayama, there needs to be an activating as well as a relaxing, stimulating, relaxing. Even in yoga poses, there needs to be a combination for such people. So now a person who is saying that I want to perfect the pose at such moments, so such people need to be advised, you know what, perfection, there is no perfection in poses. It's not like that pada hastasana, my forehead has to go this way, has to do this way. If you are a person who are tend to have that over focusing, that brings about lot of tension and strain to the system. And such people also tend to hurt their ligaments and tendons a lot, and such people hyperextend their muscles and their ligaments to such an extent that brings about, kind of a slight injury there, and then they move into a kind of a depression that, you know what, this is not for me. Such, if you are such kind of a personality, then it is is so important for you to keep telling yourself that affirmation that I want to enjoy in the pose. I will, wherever I am right now, I would like to be in that pose with breath awareness, remain in the pose. It's not about the final pose. The process of doing the pose is more important. I would like to be in that pose with that flow. So that kind of a change in your attitude, in your this thing is so important. And now if you're a person who says that, I always want only movements, I don't like to be in the pose. If I'm being in the pose, usually if you say Trikonasana, they will be that they will move their hand, they want to do here, they want to move their arm like that. All that kind of movement is important. So at that time, you need to keep telling yourself that, what, I want to do some movement in the class because that is what I like it. But also, once in a while, I really like to be in that pose, observe the flow of the breath. That is also a movement. So internally you are observing the flow of the breath moving in and out, internally feeling the chest moving up and down, internally you're feeling that the body awareness and the mind awareness and the breath awareness. So that you can observe as a flow. So that also brings about a balance. So everywhere you are trying to ensure that whatever your personality and whatever type of yoga or the the exercise regime you are choosing, you're also bringing about a balance in your personality level, so that your personality level chooses that kind. But with that kind of yoga practice, what can I bring about a balance? That is how the trick, as well as the smart way in this generation is very important. In this present generation, in this present life we are living, we need to have that smartness everywhere, right? So this and smartness, and also the important way of bringing awareness to how my personality is, and how do I bring about a beautiful wellness to my body, mind, and breath. That is the final, the goal of yoga is like, how am I connected to my true self in whatever poses you're doing, whatever the pose which you're doing? Am I more into the outwardly identifications, or am I more into the inwardly beautiful, the flow of the breath, the flow of the, the thoughts which is going in my mind, and can I watch these thoughts, and can I beautifully enjoy the pose? That is the final aim. Thank you.